Hello everybody, Jardis here, and in today's video I've actually gotten a request from a MageSkeleton asking me for an alternate version of how to reach the hidden garden jumping puzzle in Mount Maelstrom, which is located in this direction, with a method without using the Skyscale. Now, in my previous video, which I will link down in the description below, shows how to reach the hidden garden jumping puzzle using a Skyscale and a map break. Well, MageSkeleton had requested that I show this same route, but only using a Springer and a Griffin for those of you who do not yet have the Skyscale mount unlocked, because reaching the hidden garden jumping puzzle is a requirement for unlocking the Skyscale mount. So, for those of you without Skyscales, I will be showing you how to reach the hidden garden jumping puzzle without needing to fight one of the keepers. So, I'm starting here at the Criterion waypoint. At least I think it's pronounced Criterion. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, that's where I'm starting. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get on our Springer, or any mount that you have available at this point. It really does not matter, but just for simplistic sake, I will just stick with the Springer and Griffin for this video. Now we're going to want to go into this little script den, and we're going to want to go into this little hovel here. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do a jump on our Springer to reach this ledge up here. Now, you don't want to do it from right here, mainly because of this rock formation that's above us, and we'll keep hitting that and will keep us from getting out onto that ridge. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go back a little bit onto this little bit of a rock and go up to this little, I guess you can call it edge here. And what you're going to want to do is aim for up here, and you're going to want to hold your charge jump button down, while at the same time holding your forward button. So, bada bing, bada boom. And that failed miserably. See, this is exactly what I was referring to about that thing, about those being in the way. So, we're going to try this again. And there we go. Okay, now while we're still on our Springer, what we're going to want to do is get on top of this little ridge here. And we're going to want to follow it all the way to this flat area that you see along the way. Now you can stay on your Springer, or you can get on another mount if you want for this part. It really doesn't matter, but again, I'm going to stay on my Springer for those of you who do not have a Skyscale, so you can follow along. Now we're going to go past these ruin building structures, whatever they are. We're going to jump up a little bit on here, go around this. We're going to go up past this tree, and we're going to do a high jump onto this flat area. And then we're going to go up this little ridge right here, and we want to get onto this point right up here. The reason why we want to get up onto this point is because we also want to get onto the next one, because we are going to need some height if we're going to use our Griffin for this next part. Now, from here, what we're going to want to do is switch to our Griffin. And because the Griffin doesn't hover like the Skyscale, you're going to want to continuously flap to keep your altitude up. Now, what you're going to want to do is aim for this peak that you see along the way. Now, you probably will not reach the top, but you will get close enough that you can probably get to that top using the Springer once you land. So we're going to go and follow along this ridge line here, keeping this peak in sight. This is what we're aiming for. Now, if you have the Bond of Vigor to increase your endurance, which is this bar that you see that drains every time I flap, that would be helpful in maintaining your altitude. But it's not exactly necessary. As you can see, I'm doing fairly well as it is. So again, you may or may not reach the top depending on how well you manage to keep your height up. But like I said, there is a space down here, which I will land just to show you, that you can land on. Sorry. Which is actually right around here.
Get ready.
And from here, we're going to get back onto our Springer, charge jump and hold forward down until we get to the top. Now we're going to want to stay on this ridge and stay as close to the top as we possibly can. We do not want to fall down, because if we go down that ridge, we'll be back into the actual map itself, and then we'd have to start all over in order to get to this point. Now once we get to this part, again, you can stay on the Springer, but just for safety's sake, get back onto the Griffin and hover back and try to get back onto this top of this peak here. And now we're going to aim for this ridge that you see over here. Again, we may have to land on a smaller platform to get there, but that's perfectly fine. Just keep flapping, just keep flapping, just keep flapping, flapping, flapping. What do? We flap, flap, flap. Yes, I know, I'm weird. Okay, as you can see, we're hitting pretty good, decent height here. Again, we're not going to be able to reach the top of that with our Griffin from where we started, but we will get pretty darn close. Now, once we're here, we switch back to our Springer. And we're going to high jump on these platforms. You'll notice, as we go along, they seem to be at the right height for a Springer. And I just messed that up, but that's quite alright. We can recover. If I can land it properly. See, it even goes to show that some of us who have been playing this game for a long time tend to make mistakes. That's perfectly alright. At least it shows that you can recover from this. We jump onto this platform and then we keep going until we reach the top. And there's the jumping puzzle itself, the hidden garden. So we just switch back to our Griffin, or you can even glide in if you prefer, but just for simplicity's sake, we'll just use the Griffin. We'll fly over the invisible walls that actually block us from if we're too low. And when we get to a certain point, we'll just dive bomb down. And here you go. Here is the cluster of light, which is required for opening the chest. I have shown how to use... I have shown how to open the chest in this jumping puzzle in my previous video, which again, the link will be down in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to share this information with anybody else who does not have a Skyscale and wants to get into this jumping puzzle without having to fight the keepers. And I will see you again in the next video, okay? Happy gaming!